In the autumn of 1987, in a bustling Manhattan conference room filled with the hum of business conversations and the quiet clinking of glasses, a young software billionaire from Seattle met a woman who would change his life in ways no algorithm could predict. His name was Bill Gates. At that time, he was already one of the most powerful figures in technology, the co-founder of Microsoft, a company that was transforming the world through personal computers. But in that crowded room, surrounded by executives and corporate leaders, he was not thinking about software code or operating systems. He was about to meet Melinda. She was Melinda French, a bright, ambitious product manager who had recently joined Microsoft. Intelligent, composed, and quietly confident, she carried herself with a calm presence that stood out even in a room full of high achievers. That evening, she found herself seated next to Bill at a dinner event. For most people, sitting beside one of the world's most famous tech entrepreneurs might have been intimidating. But Melinda wasn't most people. Bill, known for his analytical mind and sometimes socially awkward demeanor, tried to make small talk. He wasn't exactly known as a smooth conversationalist. In fact, he was more comfortable discussing lines of code than lines of romance. But Melinda matched him wit for wit. She challenged his ideas, teased him gently, and didn't treat him like a celebrity. That balance intrigued him. Their first conversation wasn't fireworks and violins. It was something more subtle, a meeting of minds. They talked about work, about the future of technology, about business strategy. But beneath the professional topics was a spark neither of them could quite ignore. In those early days, Bill's life revolved almost entirely around Microsoft. He was deeply immersed in building the company, often working long hours, sometimes sleeping in the office. Relationships were not at the top of his priority list. Yet something about Melinda lingered in his thoughts. A few weeks after that first dinner, Bill gathered the courage to ask her out. True to his analytical nature, he didn't do it in a traditionally romantic way. He reportedly approached her in the company parking lot and casually suggested they go out, not that night, but 2 weeks later. Melinda laughed. 2 weeks later? Who schedules a date like a business meeting? She told him that wasn't spontaneous enough. So he called her later that same evening and asked her out for that night instead. That impulsive adjustment marked the beginning of something real. Their early dates were a blend of simplicity and intellect. They went out for dinners, attended events, and talked, endlessly talked. Conversations flowed from technology to philosophy, from global problems to personal dreams. Bill admired Melinda's independence. She admired his passion and vision. He was driven, intense, and sometimes socially awkward. She was grounded, empathetic, and emotionally intelligent. Where he leaned toward logic, she balanced with heart. As their relationship grew, so did Microsoft. The late 1980s and early 1990s were explosive years for the company. Windows was gaining dominance. The personal computer was becoming a household item. Bill was becoming not just a CEO, but a global icon of the tech revolution. With success came pressure, long hours, public scrutiny, and relentless competition. Being in a relationship with one of the world's most ambitious men wasn't easy. Bill's schedule was demanding. His mind was constantly processing ideas. But Melinda didn't try to compete with his work. Instead, she carved her own space within it. She continued excelling at Microsoft, contributing to projects and building her own reputation inside the company. Their love story wasn't dramatic or scandalous. It was built slowly, thoughtfully, like a long-term investment. Over time, Bill realized something profound. He didn't just enjoy Melinda's company, he needed her perspective. She grounded him. She reminded him of life beyond balance sheets and product launches. After several years of dating, Bill proposed. In 1993, during a trip to Omaha, Nebraska, Melinda's hometown, he asked her to marry him. It wasn't a flashy, headline-grabbing proposal. It was personal and meaningful. And she said yes. On January 1, 1994, they were married in a private ceremony in Hawaii. The wedding was intentionally kept away from the spotlight. Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, could have hosted the most extravagant celebration imaginable. Instead, they chose intimacy over spectacle. Marriage marked a new chapter. That same year, Bill experienced a deep personal loss. His mother, Mary Gates, passed away. She had been a powerful influence in his life, encouraging both his business ambitions and his sense of responsibility. Her passing had a profound effect on him. It was during this period that the seeds of something larger began to grow. Melinda played a significant role in shaping what would become their shared mission beyond Microsoft. She encouraged discussions about global inequality, healthcare, and education. Together, they began exploring how their wealth could make a meaningful impact. In 2000, they officially established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It would grow to become one of the largest private charitable foundations in the world. Their mission was bold: to reduce poverty, improve global health, and expand educational opportunities. Their partnership in philanthropy reflected their partnership in marriage. Bill brought analytical rigor and strategic thinking. Melinda brought empathy, deep listening, and a focus on women and families. She traveled extensively, meeting mothers in rural villages, speaking with health workers, and learning firsthand about the challenges faced by communities around the globe. As parents, they raised 3 children, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe, largely out of the intense public spotlight. Despite immense wealth, they aimed to give their children grounded upbringings. Bill famously stated that he intended to leave most of his fortune to philanthropy rather than passing it all down. To the outside world, they appeared as a model couple, united by intellect, purpose, and shared values. They attended global conferences together, spoke on world stages, and championed causes from vaccine distribution to girls' education. Their marriage seemed built not only on affection but on a deep sense of partnership. Yet like any long marriage, theirs was complex. Being one of the world's most scrutinized couples came with enormous pressure. Public expectations, professional demands, and personal growth all shape relationships in ways outsiders rarely see. For nearly 3 decades, they navigated those complexities. Bill gradually stepped down from day-to-day operations at Microsoft, shifting more focus toward philanthropy. Melinda's voice within the foundation grew stronger and more distinct. She became an advocate for women's empowerment worldwide, emphasizing that lifting women and girls was key to solving global problems. Their love story evolved from youthful curiosity to mature partnership. It was less about candlelit romance and more about shared mission. They were 2 ambitious individuals who found not only companionship but alignment in values. In May 2021, they announced their decision to divorce after 27 years of marriage. The news shocked many around the world. In a joint statement, they emphasized gratitude for their shared journey and commitment to continuing their philanthropic work. For some, the announcement felt like the end of a fairy tale. But real love stories are rarely simple fairy tales. They are layered, evolving narratives shaped by time, change, and growth. Even after their divorce, they continued working together at the foundation for a period, demonstrating that while their marriage had ended, their shared dedication to global impact remained. The story of Bill and Melinda is not one of dramatic passion or tabloid scandal. It is a story of partnership, of 2 highly intelligent individuals who met at a dinner table and built a life that influenced billions of people. It began with an awkwardly scheduled date request in a parking lot. It grew through years of conversation, collaboration, and shared ambition. It expanded into a global philanthropic mission that reshaped public health and education across continents. Love does not always look like poetry. Sometimes it looks like late-night strategy sessions, debates about world policy, shared flights across oceans, and quiet dinners after exhausting days. Sometimes it looks like mutual respect. Bill Gates, the tech visionary who helped put a computer on every desk, found in Melinda someone who helped him see beyond the desk, beyond business, toward humanity's broader challenges. Melinda found in Bill someone whose relentless drive could be redirected toward global good. Their marriage may have ended, but the chapter they wrote together continues to influence the world. Their foundation remains active, funding vaccine programs, fighting infectious diseases, supporting farmers, and promoting education reform. In the end, their love story is less about romance in the traditional sense and more about impact. Two people met in a crowded room. They challenged each other intellectually. They chose to build a life together. They built a foundation that would outlive their marriage. And through it all, they demonstrated that partnership can shape not only two lives, but millions. It is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful love stories are not the loudest ones. They are the ones built quietly, steadily, over years of shared purpose. And it all began with a simple conversation at a dinner table in 1987, a moment when neither of them could have fully imagined just how far their partnership would reach.